Hey guys, my name is Blake, and today I'll be reviewing the Red Rising Trilogy by Pierce Brown. This is my first ever booktube video, so I'm like a little nervous, but I'm very excited because, I mean, these books. I had the good fortune to actually meet Pierce Brown 2 weeks ago. It was at the signing at Book Soup, and it was fantastic. He is an amazing guy. He's hilarious, exactly how you think he would be. He's not like mean or anything, or I mean, well, I mean he is in his books, but I mean, like in real life, he's very attractive. So, Pierce Brown is right there. Look at him. He's beautiful. Film your reaction because I made this for you.
This piece of paper?
Yeah, we'll flip it over.
Okay. What? That's amazing. The Han Solo thing I think is my favorite. Or my wedding veil. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Pierce the
That's fantastic. Here's the veil. That's fantastic. Oh man, that's great.
My incredibly painful experience with this trilogy began last year when I decided to finally pick up the book that everybody was talking about, Red Rising, and it was an amazing decision. It was fantastic. And then I read Golden Sun. This monster destroyed me. It was even better than the first book. Golden Sun, it really did something that none of the books I had ever really read before had done, because most of the time I usually waited until series came out before I, binged them all, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read the next one, because Red Rising ended in a good place, and Golden Sun did not. Spoiler alert, well, not spoiler alert, cliffhanger. And then I got this book when I met Pierce Brown, and he signed them all. Good old Pierce. But this book is probably the best series ender I've ever read, ranking right next to Deathly Hallows and Library of Souls. It was amazing. I may or may not have cried multiple times throughout this book. It was heartbreaking, but in the best way possible. So now I'm gonna, get into talking. But overall, what I really liked about this series, first of all, I really enjoyed the writing style. The writing style was phenomenal. I felt like I was in Mars, the world. I was out in the solar system, my brain. I was supposed to be doing schoolwork, but I was in space. Sorry. Okay, one thing that I do have to say is the battle sequences. I've read battle sequences before, lots of them in so many different books, but Pierce Brown's felt like a movie. It played out in my head. I was able to see everything that was going on. I was never confused, and it was so intense and bloody and unforgiving. It was insane. And one of my favorite things actually came out in the battle. I don't think it was really the first book, more the second book, but the razors. They're basically like these swords that when you press like a button, it turns into like a razor whip, and you can manipulate the shape of it, and it was just so cool imagining these titans lashing each other and stabbing each other, and with like the finesse and the great, it just, I was amazed the whole time. Better than lightsabers. Better than lightsabers. Another thing that I was actually pleasantly surprised about was the inclusion over the course of the series of LGBT characters. You don't really see it in book 1 as much, but you really see it in book 2 and 3. Basically, throughout the series, more in book 2 and 3, you really see these LGBT characters start to emerge, and he does it in a way that doesn't feel like he's trying to pander to the LGBT readers at all. It's natural. They don't even make a big deal about it. It's just like, this guy has a husband, this guy had a fiance, and it was a guy. It's no big deal, and that was one of the things I really liked about it, because I was like, oh my god, like, because before in books there's usually gay cliches, and then that's usually it. I haven't really seen a whole lot of gay characters that are just normal people who happen to be gay. It's all about them coming out of the closet, or lots, the cliche. But anyways, if I haven't sold you on this trilogy yet already, let me just say it's epic as hell. We start on Mars, and then we just whole solar system, and I guess epic, it doesn't sound big, because you have books going to other dimensions and other galaxies and stuff, but Pierce Brown takes the entire solar system and makes it feel small, or not small, but like everything. It's basically, with all the empires and stuff on Earth that there are now, like kingdoms and countries and stuff, it's that, but on a giant level. And you see the fallout between all the politics and the relations between the different sections and planets and people. It's phenomenal. So Red Rising, this one, starts out, and we're on Mars. The main character, I haven't even talked about the characters yet. Darrow is our main character, and he is a red on Mars. He lives in a color caste society, so there's so many different colors, and I was a little confused in book 1, but in book 2 we get this handy little chart thing. But golds are at the top and reds are at the bottom. Reds are basically the gold slaves. They do all the physical labor, and they're the most subjugated color, but there's a ton of colors between red and gold, so it's not just the reds that are being subjugated. And you really see all the low colors and the mid colors throughout the series, and how they're affected by the gold's tyranny as well. So the story in Red Rising starts when it's Darrow, and he's in the mines of Lycos with his wife Io, and his wife discovers that they've been lied to, that the world that they thought they knew, that they were being noble pioneers to help the human race, it's basically a gold lie, so they can just have them think they're doing something good and just use them for work, for labor. And so then Darrow ends up joining the rebellion with the Sons of Ares, which is the name for this almost semi-terrorist group of radicalist Reds who want to rebel against the society. But with Darrow, they start having a larger plan other than just explosions and bombings and stuff. And his goal is to infiltrate the Gold Institute, which is basically the place where they send their kids to become like elite killers. It's basically the Hunger Games on crack. And so Darrow goes through the process to become a gold, and most of the conflict in the first book is him being torn between himself as a red and his new guise as a gold. And that plays beautifully throughout the entire series, and I'm not going to say really anything more for spoilers, but the other characters that come along in there are just amazing. You have these characters like Neril and Mustang, Severo, just to name a few. There are so many characters throughout the entire series, but it never feels like too much. He introduces them and you get to know them, and it feels very realistic, and I just thank you for creating such great characters, Pierce. This entire trilogy is 5 stars all around. If you don't have it already, I would recommend getting it immediately. Like, go online and buy them all. Buy all of them. They seriously are like a drug, because you just start one and then you just can't stop, because it's a roller coaster and it's amazing and you just want more, and we're getting more. I was so happy. Pierce announced that he's making an Iron Gold trilogy, which is going to be set after the events of this trilogy and dealing with kind of everything that took place throughout the series. And I cannot wait, because I love this world and I can't wait to see more. So if you really like sci-fi, high fantasy, this is the perfect just trilogy to satiate you. It's you're gonna love it. 5 stars. Go read it. I'm gonna get into some spoilers now, So if you haven't read Red Rising, Golden Sun, or Morning Star, leave now. But if you've read one of them, I'll let you know when other spoilers come up. But bye. Hey, God, that sucked. It, yeah. Okay, so first off, why do I keep saying, it's getting dark. The section. This is awful. You can see. And I'm gonna get into some points. It's so complicated. Ugh.